Hey, my fellow babies, and welcome to another edition of Complaint Corner. I'm sorry I've been absent for so very long, but I got a lot going on and just don't have time to do these projects. It's a shame too because I've had like 12 really good projects that I've done since the last video post that could have helped some people. So sorry about that. I will try to make time to do more videos as I move forward and try to make some time in my life instead of just working all the time. We are working on a 2001 Ford Ranger XLT, 4-liter V6, 5-speed manual. Not that any of that's important for what I'm getting ready to do, but 6-foot bed, and we have to replace the fuel pump. There's a few different ways you can go about it. If you've seen some of my videos in the past, you know I'll get lazy and do a workaround and cut a flap in the bed of a pickup truck. And if you saw the Jeep, I did that with the Jeep as well. Typically, you don't want to do that. I usually only go that route if everything underneath looks in such bad shape and so rusted that it's going to cause a lot more problems. For this particular application, you can do that if you want to, but it's totally unnecessary. You can go underneath, obviously, and take the straps off, disconnect everything, lower the tank, and you're going to need to do that if you need to flush the tank out. But if you don't need to flush the tank out and you're just swapping out the pump and filter itself, then fairly easy way to do it is just pull the bed off of the back of the truck. So that's what I'm going to show you today. Okay, so this is what we're working on. I've already pretty much done most of the work except for pulling and replacing the pump itself. I did all the prep work. Fairly easy to explain. You will need a 7mm socket to remove 3 screws from the fuel inlet. Separate that from the bed, and you will definitely need a T55 Torx socket bit to get the bolts out. As you can see, I'm already good to go. Also, I was on my own and had to remove the bed myself. You can do it, obviously, but it's so much easier if you have a second person to, one on either side to pick it up and move it back. You can set it out of your way, or just, as you see, position it right there so it's stable and easier to put back in place when you're done. Just depends on how much work you're doing, if you want to do anything else, if you need to take it all the way off or not. But it's pretty basic. Like I said, you're gonna have to remove the 3 screws from the inlet. Very simple, cut and dried, 7mm. And you're gonna have 6 bolts that you have to remove. 1, 2, all the way up. 3, same on the other side. That's pretty much it. And your wiring harness right there, and just plugs right in, other end right there. Very simple. 1 disconnect, and you're ready to get busy. Okay, so here's the culprit right here that we need to replace. Just take your time, clean very thoroughly all of this mess out of your way before you get going. If you don't have to pull the tank and flush it, and you don't clean all this crap before you remove the old pump, guess what? You're gonna have to pull the tank and flush it. So get this all clean first, and then you're just gonna disconnect your wiring harness, and you have all your hoses here, which you need to disconnect. Got little tabs that pop out. Your new pump should come with replacement tabs, so try to be careful removing it anyway, just in case you need to reuse one. And the main thing that you're gonna need to reuse is going to be this screw down cover for the pump. They're not gonna give you a replacement with the new pump, even though you're spending $200. No, that doesn't come with it. Now, they have special tools to remove that. What I will probably do is just get a nice flat pry bar, other piece of metal, and just run it all the way across after everything's disconnected, and put it on these teeth, and then just evenly apply pressure on either side as you twist it off. Just be careful with it, because like I said, you've got to reuse it. And that will be the next step. Okay, now that everything's clean, you don't have to worry about dropping debris down into the tank. Go ahead and disconnect all of your hoses and the electrical, and then we can pull that cap off and swap out this pump. Okay, to get the locking tabs off of all these connections, typically like to have on hand a small flathead screwdriver, hook pick, some needle nose pliers, and a trim tab puller. That always comes in handy. This one and this one, very easy. No worries whatsoever. These two, total pain in the ass. So just take your time, be careful. Don't mess up these lines and these boots, or you got a whole other project on your hands. But now we're ready to go ahead and spin this bad boy off and do the replacement. If you don't have enough room to get a flat bar in there to help you remove the locking ring, or if you don't have the special tool, then just grab yourself a long flathead screwdriver and a hammer, and then get down as low as you can, put the edge of the screwdriver right on the tooth, and gently, slowly tap. Just take your time with it, because you do not want to mess up this ring. Trust me, do not mess up this ring. Take all the time you need. Slow and steady wins the race. Once you get that off, and I'll clean that up a little bit better before reinstallation with the new pump. But right here, your old gasket, get that out of there. They give you a brand new one for a reason. I'm not good at one-handed shit anymore. So put your brand new O-ring in place. Clean this up. Just get a cloth and wipe around. Make sure you get any residue off there. Then put the new ring in there. Pay attention to the orientation of the old pump when you take it out, so you can put the new pump back in the exact same orientation. Take your time with it. You got to angle it a little bit, kind of this way as you're setting down inside. Don't force anything, don't damage it. Just take your time, set it into place, and then we can go ahead, like I said, a new O-ring, clean that up, put that in place, tighten it down, take your time with that, get it nice and snug, and then we're gonna reconnect the wiring harness and all of the lines, slow and easy, and we're gonna put the new locking tabs that come with your brand new pump. Even if these things look like they're perfectly fine, go ahead and just swap them out for the new ones. It's worth it. You've gone through all this trouble to get this point. Put all the new stuff in there that you can. Quick side note, my kit came with 4 of the same size locking tabs. Obviously this one's much bigger, so check your kit, make sure you have the right sizes. If not, just be real careful when disconnecting this, and then you'll have the 3 correct sizes for these guys, and you'll have 1 spare that you'll never do anything with. All right, new pump drops right down in place. Take your time with it. Don't forget the new O-ring, and then put your locking ring in place. Do not cross thread it. Take your time with it. These pumps are spring loaded, so you can put a little bit of downward pressure on the pump while you get the ring in place, threaded properly, and then just take your time and get it snugged all the way down nice and tight. Do your electrical connection. When you go to reconnect your hoses, you can go ahead and in pretty much any order, but I would recommend that you do this one, this one, this one, then this one, because as you can see, this one kind of prohibits you from getting your locking tab pressed in place. So don't forget to put all your locking tabs in there, get it snugged, yank on each one, make sure that they're not going anywhere, and they are thoroughly seated and locked in place so they won't back off. And then the rest of it is grab a friend to help you position the bed back in place. Be mindful of your fuel inlet. Get that properly positioned and bring it up through here once you get the bed settled back down, and put your 3 screws back in there. The screw on this side typically will hold the tether cord on your fuel filler cap, so don't forget to put that back in place. And once you have everything settled down, just reinstall your 6 bolts. And if you have one like I do, put the bed liner back in, put the toolbox back in, and don't forget to reconnect your wiring harness. Here's the end of that right there. Plug it into that and you're golden. That's pretty much it. As always, I appreciate you watching, and if you have any questions, if I omitted anything, I'm sorry, but feel free to reach out to me and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Try to help you in any way that I can. Thanks. Have a great and wonderful evening, and I'll see you next time. As an afterthought, before you put the bed back in place and bolt everything down, check everything else you might need to check, such as a vapor canister at the tail end, which you're not going to be able to access unless you have the bed off. Just make sure everything's good. Crank the vehicle up, make sure it's running, no leaks, no other issues. Then you can tighten everything down. Okay, my fellow babies, this is the finished project. Everything's done. Sorry for wrapping up in the dark. And normally I'd like to wash, wax, detail the vehicle so it looks at its absolute best when I'm done with the project, but I just simply don't have time. I had to take a break earlier to take my 10-year-old puppy for a very long walk because he's been recovering from cancer surgery and he has not been allowed to take a walk until today, and that's very important to us. We normally go out for a very long time on Saturdays and Sundays, so it's well worth it to take a break and take him out for a nice long walk so he could sniff everything and feel normal again. Anyway, so yeah, it's all buttoned up, and go ahead and hit the key and hopefully everything will be good. Let's see. All right, just what we wanted. Fired right up. No problem lights, just the normal stuff. Doors open, brake light, no seat belt. Like a champ. All right. If you guys need any help, have any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thank you again for watching.